CLA courts a different, younger breed of Mercedes buyer with more credibility in this second-generation form. As before, this compact front-driven, stylised model offers a choice of either this four-door coupe or an alternative shooting brake estate, but this time there's a cabin that's really distinctively designed, just like the exterior, and full of smart connectivity. Even if you've never thought of yourself as the sort of person who might drive a Mercedes, there's just a chance you might like this one.
This second-generation CLA might share its MFA2 platform and front-driven layout with humbler compact Mercedes models, but it gets its own suspension setup. The damping system's been tweaked differently, primarily with noise and vibration countering hydraulic suspension bushes on the front axle. There's also a stiffer front anti-roll bar than the A-Class has, plus a much wider front and rear track and a lower centre of gravity. So it's not surprising that this car feels significantly more dynamic to drive than its compact showroom stablemates. You wouldn't buy it in preference to a hot hatch, the steering's not sharp enough for that, but the handling's precise and direct, and there's plenty of grip and traction through the turns. The ride's a touch on the firm side, but most will find it quite acceptable on the highway, where exceptionally sleek aerodynamics aid impressive levels of refinement. All mainstream petrol-powered versions of this car use a 7G DCT auto gearbox, and engine-wise, the range kicks off with CLA 180 and CLA 200 variants, which use a 1.3-litre petrol unit provided by Renault, respectively putting out either 136 or 163 horsepower. If you take the view that a car of this sort has no business sharing an engine with a Clio Super Mini, then you might well want to limit your perusals to a CLA fitted with a 2-litre engine. The popular choice here is the CLA 220, which offers 190 horsepower and is the only mainstream model in the range available with the option of 4MATIC four-wheel drive. Alternatively, there's the 224 horsepower CLA 250 model we're trying here, which offers a useful boost in performance with no discernible impact on efficiency. WLTP rated combined cycle fuel consumption is measured at up to 42.2 mpg, while NEDC rated CO2 emissions are rated at 138 grams per kilometre. If you want to do better, Mercedes offers its 2-litre diesel in the 190 horsepower CLA 220D paired with an 8-speed auto. There are also two storming Mercedes AMG performance models, the 306 horsepower CLA 35 and the 421 horsepower CLA 45. By any measure, this is a distinctive car. It always was. Whether it's the modern design icon Mercedes thinks it is, well, that's another question. In this guise, and in its alternative shooting brake form, this second-generation C118 series model is certainly a sleeker, more sophisticated thing than its predecessor. You'd certainly now be less likely to pigeonhole this car as any sort of saloon. This Mark II model no longer called upon to play that role since Mercedes launched a separate sedan body style into the fourth-generation A-Class lineup. That freed designer Gordon Wagner and his team up to be a little more expressive with the CLA this time around. Hence the lengthier, slightly lower roofline, the long stretched bonnet and the compact glass house. All of it delivering a more elegant silhouette. OK, time to check out the part of this car which Mercedes promise will really sell it to you, the interior. In its own way, this cabin is as distinctive as the exterior silhouette, with unique interior architecture shaped by the avant-garde design of the dashboard. Some features are, of course, familiar from other large Mercedes models, primarily this distinctive widescreen cockpit layout with its twin virtual displays, which can be activated by the provided Hey Mercedes voice-activated functionality. You sit a little lower than you would in other compact Mercedes models on black leather-stitched sports seats with integrated head restraints, which position you lower in front of a race-style, flat-bottomed, Napa leather-trimmed steering wheel. And you're surrounded by premium touches, a glossy piano black coated centre console that flows up into the dash and intricately fashioned door cards filleted with aluminium and double-stitched hide panels. Luxury downsizers will love it all. As for backseat accommodation, well, any car that describes itself as a four-door coupe clearly isn't going to have this as a top priority. Fashion is the keynote here, which is why you're provided with these lovely frameless doors, just like a pricey CLS model in the next class up. Negotiate around the plunging roofline and get yourself inside, though. And it is a little surprising to find that despite this car being 9mm longer than a current W205 generation Mercedes C-Class saloon, it offers significantly less space for rearward passengers. We can carry on carping about this kind of stuff, as other commentators do, but it's pretty irrelevant because if you really cared about rear seat space, you'd be spending the same kind of money on either an A-Class sedan or that C-Class saloon instead. Well, let's finish with a look at the boot, accessed on this four-door model, either by clicking on the key fob or by pressing in the top part of the brand badge. Now, given the length increase, this second-generation CLA has a rear overhang stretching beyond 1 metre long, we'd hope for a bit more room here. But, for some reason, boot capacity has actually fallen to 460 litres. That's 10 litres less than before. Still, that's 5 litres more than you get in most C-Class saloons and 40 litres more than you get in a four-door A-Class. If this isn't enough and you really want a CLA, there's the option of switching to the shooting brake estate variant, which offers 505 litres of capacity with all the seats in place. That's 10 litres more than before. In second-generation form, the CLA continues to expand the Mercedes brand's customer base. The people who buy one almost certainly wouldn't want anything else the company offers at this price point, and rival saloon and estate models look rather conformist by comparison with this four-door coupe or its shooting brake station wagon counterpart. In short, both versions of this car remain something of a breath of fresh air in this part of the market. It's a model that's redefined what the brand stands for in the eyes of many potential buyers, exactly as it was meant to.